When I was 18 years old, I was working at my first professional job while I was in college at the Syracuse Post-Standard, which I was on a copy desk of the newspaper. I was the person sitting there typing away, and it was back before we had photon, it was called the photon machine, where you send it through and scan it through. So I was very busy. I was kind of working very, very hard. I had around me was a circle, and we had the managing editor who was there. And the managing editor across from him had one of his top editors. She was very pregnant, not a very good-looking woman, but very kind of sour and serious. But they were always going back and forth with each other, and I'm young and I don't know what's going on. But the interesting part was the managing editor had this beautiful blonde woman who was his wife. She was very pregnant also. One day she came and he seemed very nervous. I didn't think anything of it. I'm typing away. I'm trying to make my $1.85 an hour. I'm trying to get through because Syracuse University scholarship is really crappy, and so I'm barely making ends meet. So I'm not paying any attention. But the bus has got to come, and I got to make the last bus. I mean, at 1 o'clock in the morning, because I'm working in the newspaper. You start working at like 7 o'clock at night, and you go to 1 o'clock in the morning because you got to get the newspaper. Goes to bed somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning. So here I am, 18 years old. At that time, I was probably 20 pounds lighter than I am. Believe it or not, I looked like a 15-year-old boy, generally speaking. I was still a virgin, and so I was very naive about what was happening in the world. So what I did was, I got up, it was 1 o'clock in the morning. I ran as fast as I could to make the bus. In order to do that, instead of going out the front door, which was usually locked, I ran out the back door. I go out the door, I'm running down the stairs, and boom, I crashed right into the managing editor and this pregnant woman who was not his wife, tongue kissing, holding, grabbing. I run and I almost crash into them, and they stop, and I stop, and I go, and they go, ooh. And I didn't know what else to do, so I just basically dropped my pens and pencils, which were very valuable to me because I didn't have any money. I was making $1.85 an hour. Ran out the back door. Bus came, ran on the bus and said, and so I get all the way back. Luckily, I knew some reporters who were I was like a cub reporter, and I was writing obits, that's as exciting as it gets when you're 18 years old. And these reporters took me under their wing, and I get back, and we went out to eat the next day, and I said, just before, I said, this is what happened, I don't know what to do, he's gonna fire me, he's so upset, I could tell from the look on his face. Now I know the secret, and his wife is 7 months pregnant, and his girlfriend is 7 months pregnant, and I don't know what's going on. So, and she was in the copy desk woman who he was having the, I don't know what with, at that time, because I'm 18, and I don't even know what sex is, so I'm we did that in high school, but I don't know how it ends up with this, but it's okay. So, I'm really freaking out, thinking, I'm going to get fired, and I need this job, because my scholarship is not enough to cover my being at Syracuse University, which, anybody who's been there, is a very expensive school. And I had a fairly good scholarship in the Newhouse School of Journalism, so I thought I was going to be a journalist. So, I'm being very inquisitive with my reporter friends, because they're basically mentoring me. And I'm like, I'm going to get fired, I'm going to get fired. And they're like, no, you're not going to get fired, it'll be fine. The managing editor calls me up and explains that I'm not adequate enough, and I'm not really making it, and he's a little concerned that I'm in over my head, and writing obits, it's very difficult and complex, and I wasn't really doing enough research, and he's going on and on. And finally, he says, I'm going to have to let you go. And luckily, I had talked to my reporter friends, who were 10, 15 years older than I am, and they said, if he does that, this is what you do, which I did. I take a deep breath. You're not going to fire me. Complete silence on the other end of the phone. And he says, what do you mean I'm not going to fire you? I said, you are not going to fire me. And furthermore, you're going to give me a raise. 12 and 18-year-old. Again, more silence. And he said, why would I do that? I said, because I like to take the bus and run out the back door. More silence. He says, okay, hangs up the phone, doesn't say a thing. I still go to work the next day. He walks up to me, gives me a little note that says, I'm now going from $1.85 an hour to $2.25 an hour. I'm so excited. I go, oh, good, I can eat something now. This is peanut butter and tomato soup. And so I was very excited, and I was very happy with my reporter friends. And everything seemed to be going fine. But in those days, they had a librarian at the newspaper, and the librarian also had the budget, so she would take, whenever she would see people's, what they would get paid. And I went to the bathroom one day, and on the way back, I go through the library, and she says, you because she was this, this older woman who had been with the newspaper since evidently birth. And she said, "Come here." I'm like, "Come here." She goes, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 18. She goes, "Why are you making $2.25 an hour?" I said, "Because I'm making $2.25 an hour." She goes, "I don't make $2.25 an hour. I've been here 10 years. I make $2.10 an hour. How the hell did you make $2.25 an hour?" And she was like bugging me. And she's like, "How did this happen? I want to know," because she wanted to make $2.25 an hour. And finally she says, "I know what it is." And I said, "Okay, what is it?" She goes, "Because you got big boobs." And I looked at her and I said, "That's the reason." To this day, I don't know which one was the white lie.